Hey, you all. Welcome to Podcast Talkers vs. Doers. I'm your host, Erica Perry, aka MsGemsDropper. This platform is designed for entrepreneurs and business owners to talk about the field of entrepreneurship. Not only will we be talking about entrepreneur, we will also have guests on talking about their journey to success. So today we are so excited as we begin this podcast with Mr. Mike James. It is definitely an honor and a pleasure to have Mr. Mike James on. Thank you, Mr. Mike James, for coming on.
I appreciate it. Listen, I am glad to be here. First of all, excited about this, excited about the podcast, and just for the opportunity to share, right? You talked about the entrepreneurship journey and then people's journey of success. It is a journey, and it's always something you can work on, always something else to do. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for just the opportunity and let's get it.
No doubt. Like, it wouldn't be our start of this podcast without you, Mr. Mike James. He has opened up the doors and allowed me several times on his platform to talk about what I'm doing. So it was no way for me not to say, okay, brother, you got to come on. You got to be the first guest to start open.
No doubt.
So for the ones that don't know you, Mr. Mike James, tell the audience a little bit about you.
Oh, man. Again, thank you, first of all. And like you said, it's certain people I call family. And so you're one of those people. So we go back, and so it's always a pleasure.
Yes.
Anytime we work on something or talk about something, talk about ideas. But Mike James, man, I'm literally a small town country boy from Phoenix City, Alabama, by way of Fort Mitchell, Alabama. I am the youngest of 11 children, born to the late great Prince and Isola James.
Okay.
And I'm on a mission to share my light, love, and positivity with as many people as I can in the time and space that I have. So that's about me. I'm the founder and owner of P&Z Life Coaching.
Okay.
So I'm a life coach, speaker, mentor, motivator. That's anything around that light, love, and positivity. That's me. And I'm just on a mission to share that with the world. So
he does it
that's
all.
My background.
He definitely does it all and does it all well. I've just, like I said, had the pleasure of working with him alongside him to actually see. You do a great job, but we're going to go back to, you said the baby of 11?
The baby of 11, man. Listen, this is what I tell people, and this is the easiest way to do this. I grew up in a church, Southern Pentecostal household, and my dad was a preacher. My mom was a preacher. And I joke all the time. I say, listen, I think they had one scripture in their Bible, and that was be fruitful and multiply. And they obeyed.
They definitely multiplied.
They obeyed. So, a lot of times when people hear that, it's like, oh, man, I know y'all don't get along, this and that. So my oldest brother has transitioned on, and my middle sister, even before I was born. So typically people here say 10, but it's actually 11 of us. And it's still 9 of us here. And, just doing it. We all get along. We could be in the same room at the same time.
Now that's great.
And not fall out. So,
everybody's still getting along.
Yeah, for real. So that's why I always say small town country boy, because it's those roots, gang recognized gang. And so when you got those like really country Southern roots, man, it's something about it. It's something about, that blood and just the tribulations and the things that make you tough, which is why I named my business what it is. I could have easily had my name in there or something like that. But
so tell us the name of the business.
Yeah. So as I said, P&Z Life Coaching. So my mom and dad, my dad was the late great Prince James Jr. Okay. And my mom was the late great Isola Edmonds James, but known by her siblings and close family, they call her Zola. So that's where the P&Z comes from.
Okay,
so,
y'all get it here. P&Z Life Coach. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Being that country boy, like what just had you decide life coach? Where did this come from? What was your desire to come and say, you know what, I'm going to be able to inspire and help people?
Well, if you would have asked me 20 years ago, did you know you were going to be a life coach? No. Because first of all, 20 years ago, there wasn't a lot of people talking about life coaching or what is that? Still to this day, you're still explaining. If I tell you I'm a mechanic, okay, once I tell you I'm a car mechanic, you know what I do. If I tell you I'm a barber, you know what I do.
Definitely.
But when you say life coach, okay, what is that? So my background was in the personal training industry, health and fitness. So for 14 years, I was full-time. I got my undergraduate degree from UAB.
Go Blazers. Yes, we have to shout the Blazers out.
Let's do it. So got my undergraduate degree in exercise science, fitness leadership from UAB, and went right into the training world. And over the years, all the years I was in the health and fitness industry, the sessions that stood out to me the most were not those ones where I just had a client crawl into the car. Oh, I'm tired of work. It was the ones when I saw a client come in the room, come in the gym, and I saw that eye contact, like, okay, this is not going to be one of those days.
Right.
It's going to be tough. Hey, you know what, Erica, let's talk about it for a second. What's going on? Tell me. And you see that burden just...
So you was already being a life coach in the midst of training.
Already. And I guess we'll probably get to that too, but in my certifying body, which I got certified through, that's one thing we say in the training. Like when somebody asks you, you know, how long you been life coaching? All your life.
Right.
Because you're going through life and you're learning. Now, once you decide to be certified and pursue that career, that's when the career starts. But you've been doing it all your life in some way.
So since you had already felt that you had been doing it, was it a hard transition going from that fitness to life coach?
I don't think so, because again, going back to those clients, once I had those conversations, that sidebar, like I just saw it on your face. Eric, I knew it wasn't going to be that day. So they, you know, we may get 1-2 sets in that day. And I realized, hey, they realized that, okay, Mike is not always just about my job and I got to work you out, make you sweat. And each time over the years, those situations, I can write down every client's first name and what the situation was from 2008 until 2019.
Whoa.
When I started my business. So it's impactful for me.
Right. That's what I'm going to say. That was very impactful for you to actually have that connection with your clients. Like you really built a family. Not only through fitness, and then it led into your life coach.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know their clients, and they just got them like 2 or 3 days ago.
Listen. Let me tell you something on that. If there's any personal trainer watching, this is what I always say. It's called personal training. It's not called training a person or fitness train. Some people may say they're a fitness trainer, but it's personal training, meaning there's a relationship that has to happen first. Because I can't give you a cookie cutter program. Wow. I can't treat you just the way that. Now look, there's group exercise and all of that, right? But if we're one-on-one, I can't give you the same thing I just gave the 5 people that came in before you.
Now this is the first time I heard it this way. No,
it's not
definitely.
Your body. Yes. It's not your life. It's not your stress. It's not your reaction. And so that again stuck with me the whole time, which leading to life coaching, when I started thinking about, okay, what do you want to do? There got to be some moments where I was just frustrated, not necessarily with the career, but where I was and what was happening around me. And I wanted to do more. How can I give that person that I had that conversation with, that I knew we weren't going to have this just beat me up workout day?
Right.
How can I give them more beyond just this physical? And that's where I started looking more into life coaching, and I found out, okay, I think this is it, because I'm still a certified personal trainer.
Right.
I can still train you, but what's behind that? What's behind you going hard for 3 months and then you don't see the gym for another year?
And what's going to happen next?
That's where that coaching comes in. So that's what really drove me to it, and it's all about relationships.
Okay. So as a life coach, because like you said, it's all about relationships, what impact you believe you have made on people through those relationships?
Oh man, you know, to answer that question, I don't even know if you can measure that impact, because it's so huge, right? Because it's ongoing. When I work with a client and seeing them successful, seeing them whether or not it's a testimony or not, or me just seeing from week to week, from month to month, the things they're able to get done, just because I asked them the right question. Or just because someone was there to listen to them without the, oh, let me fix it. So
you actually listen.
Right. Going back to life coaching, I say, people, they ask, what is a life coach? I say what a good life coach should do, when I tell people what it is, what a good life coach should do is help you discover that you're your best friend. In other words, if we're best friends and you call me and say, Mike, I'm having a day. Let me tell you, this is going on, that's going on. Instantly, what am I going to do? I'm going to start giving you advice. I'm going to start helping you see. I'm going to start telling you. I'm going to say, well, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done that? But when it's myself, It's hard.
It's definitely hard.
This is what I tell people.
And I'm laughing at it in the inside as he's talking, because as some of the audience may know, I'm also a certified life coach.
Right.
So definitely being able to transition, but Mike is that one. Mike is also have been that life coach and mentor for me too. When I call him, he's like, hold up, wait, let's sit down. Mm-hmm. And it does become to me saying how I'm going to be the best version of me.
Right.
For me, so definitely that part is totally different when you got to tell your own self and you got to be your own cheerleader about who are you going to be or why you're struggling for something.
Yeah, for sure. That's the big secret right there. When it's ourselves, again, going back to that, you are your best friend. When it's me, I can't see the forest through the trees. Mm-hmm. Now, when you call me, I got it. You like, yes, my friend. But when it's ourselves, so that's why, again, a good life coach should help you discover that, because you hear the questions that I ask, mm-hmm. or that your coach asks you, and you start to say, oh, you know what? I never thought about that. Right, because you were in it. Mm-hmm.
So I guess saying that, like, for people that are actually listening, as a life coach, what are the steps do you take your clients through? Like, what do they work through from beginning, from when they come to you until, when they choose to say, okay, I feel that I've transitioned to something else?
Yeah. So my thing is, if anybody's been to my website or seen the things I do, seen in my videos, I'm the 5 C's coach. Okay. So it's my mission that anyone that chooses to work with me and chooses so will gain their 5 C's. That is, become capable, competent, confident, conscious, and courageous to achieve greatness. Mm. So it's all about confidence. It's all about that energy. Here's the step. The first thing we have to do is figure out what it is. Okay. What it is that you want to do, mm-hmm. right? And it's really that who, what, when, where, why, how that we learned way back in grade school.
Right. It comes back up. Right? Yes.
The who is you. And there are some layers to that who as well that you got to break down. Okay, how am I stopping myself? What's going on here? But the why, and now we go through that. And you're applying all that stuff to each problem that you have. The solution is in somewhere in those 5 C's. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe it's the fact that I know what to do, but I'm not sure how to get to that point. Definitely. Okay, sounds to me like a lack of confidence. Mm-hmm. So let's work on this confidence, right?
Right.
And then now, okay, well, I hear what you're saying, Mike. Coach Mike, I got you. I hear you, but I don't know if, okay, so it sounds like you don't know that you're capable of doing this thing.
I like how he flowing this thing. I like how he's flowing it.
Okay, I got that. Yeah, okay, I know what it is.
Right.
I know what it is, but, it's like, I don't know, I haven't done it. Okay, now you don't believe that you're competent. So those 5 C's, anything that I do, whether it's my 5 C's, my 5 P's, my 4 K's, anything that I do, it came at a time where it was a solution for me, and I want to share it.
No, and I love it because, yes, like I said, I call, make people know, talk and ask, and do some mentoring too, and be like, hey, I need help. But to hear you explain that, mm-hmm. I know you said it's all on your videos, but to hear you explain it makes so much more sense of how that goes in that transition of, these are the things you're doing, the things you may be going. Mm. A lot of people say they're going to do things and, as a life coach, have strategies and results. But to be able to explain like that is awesome. Right. And then, like you said, it's that grade school level. So anybody can come and understand those things.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're coming to me for a solution because you're stuck or you don't know what's the next step in your life, and I'm talking to you like this is a thesis for a doctorate or something.
I want to leave.
No, Coach, I'm asking you. Look, I did not come to you to prepare me for this dissertation. Correct. I came to you because I need more confidence in handling my children and getting up every day and doing what I need to do and making this grade and performing on this athletic team and figuring out all the weight of the world as a teenager, social media, all this stuff. I didn't come to you and ask me to educate me. I came to you and asked me to help me see where I'm stuck and how can I get out of it. So I have to meet now. Mm-hmm. Granted, there are going to be some business owners. There are some, professionals, upper level management that I work with, and it's different. I'm going to talk.
And I guess I was going to ask that too. Like, is there a certain area as a life coach or you work with any and everyone? Yeah, so I will work with anyone. So at first, this is a thing too. It goes back as well when I was talking about the Certified Life Coach Institute, CLCI. I'm also a facilitator. So even with that, when you're working with it,
we all go into it and we're learning it, and we want to say general life coaching, but of course you want to narrow that down, because my mentor, shout out to Dan Alexa, and he's also a facilitator with CLCI.
He's definitely awesome. He also so awesome. Helped me get certified as life coach. So yes, shout out to Dan. He's a great guy. Great guy. So
he always says, when you say, okay, I'm a life coach, I'm general life coaching, right? It's like going to the top of the mountain with a blowhorn and saying, hey, I'm a life coach. You're speaking to thousands of people, right?
Correct.
And they're like, okay, and what does that mean?
What's next?
But now, if I go with that same blowhorn and say, hey, I'm a transformation coach. I help people who are in any transition in life figure out what's the next steps. If I say, hey, I'm a youth coach, I help young people figure out what it is and gain those 5 C's to do what they do and do it better. Do it at a high level. Correct. Now it's like, okay, I need to call him for my teenager.
Yeah, more specific to it.
There you go. Right. So it's good to narrow it down. So those are my two concentrations or niches, as they say. Okay. It's transformation coaching and youth coaching.
I love it. Definitely with that part. So just going forward on to entrepreneurship as it relates to being a life coach, I would say, were there any challenges for you, or are there any challenges just being a life coach as an entrepreneur?
Look, if you do what you do, especially if you do what you do on a high level, and listen, I'm to everybody who sees this, don't let nobody tell you that they've gotten to a level where they don't have challenges.
Shh.
Because
every day.
This is what, look,
every day.
When you wake up every day, your challenges, the things that you need to do, the things that you need to do to get better, because something's always changing.
Definitely.
It's right there in the background saying top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. It's ready. It's waiting on you. So I guess the first thing is, with getting started, the biggest challenge is you. Right? It's actually, that's why it's the 5 C's. It goes back to that. It's actually having the confidence to say, this is what I want to do, and this is something in me. I'm following my passion, right? And now this is something I've said since high school. Life's like Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
So now that I know what I want to do in life, the impact I want to make, and it's not for selfish reasons, it's actually to help people, help people grow. The first step is doing it, but the challenges are staying ahead of what's going on. Okay. And I'm not even going to say staying ahead of what's going on, because it's almost impossible. Something's always changing.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. But, just taking it, like you said, staying ahead. And I would say myself, as an entrepreneur, staying ahead of just the education, move forward. So I do like that, because, before we even started this conversation, I was talking to you about, Instagram and me just projecting and putting things to make sure I'm providing my audience of what they need. And one of the things you told me that, hey, don't be married to it, because it's going to change. Oh, yeah. And I sat here first, was like, what? But now understanding things are always evolving, so you want to stay ahead. If that's educating yourself, getting around the right people, talking to the right people to make sure you are staying ahead of everything.
I started my business Instagram page. The only reason my personal page got as popular, or at the time it grew as fast as it did, it got to a certain point and stopped, was because I was a biker. I was in the motorcycle world. And so you always connecting with somebody, and it's people I still do. I appreciate it, because it's people I've been connected with on social media since 2010, 2011, 2012, just from that, the bike life community. But my business page, I started in 2019, and it was IG Lives. That's the thing, right?
All the time. And you woke up in the morning, I'm like, that's the first thing I see. Mike.
Now, guess what? Here we go. Fast forward a few months, not even into 2020 all the way. IGTV.
Right.
There was another change. Put your energy, still show up and meet the people where you are and where you're getting engagement, but IGTV, get on it. You got to do it. IGTV. That's the thing. Instagram is going to push your IGTV in front of new audience. Do that. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. 2021. Reels. Yeah. It's all about the reels. Right. So that's why I say that. And I tell anybody, look, don't get married or attached to that idea, because it's going to change. YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. Now YouTube is figuring out a way, how can we do everything with YouTube Shorts to now where it may help towards your monetization. But right now it's not. But do shorts. If you want to grow your page, do shorts.
So now, definitely that analogy that you just said, it can be used with anything though. Like you said, don't get married to it. Especially, as entrepreneurs, so much changing. So you can't get married to one thing. I'm guessing to directly what you're doing, your job, your work, but how it comes to actually push it out there, how it comes to promote and marketing, that you can't get married to one thing.
Yeah. And I would say this, and even you saying it back to me, because this is the importance of speaking things out and not letting those ideas just sit up here, sitting here, speaking it out into the universe and writing it down because you see it.
Write it down. So
when you just said that to me, what I heard was, okay, now that's not what I said, but don't get married to anything. If there's one thing I would say you get married to, that's married to your passion and the success of you making it. Married to that, a lifelong commitment to say that this is what I want to do.
Married to the passion.
Married to your passion and the success of living that passion out. Okay. Because that's not necessarily your business. That's not your page. That's that thing that's in your heart that you want to give out to the world that nobody can stop you. It's like happiness versus joy, right? Happiness happens from a happening. If there's nothing happening, ain't no happiness, right?
Right. Gotta be happening.
Joy is that thing where I wake up like, you can't take that from me. Right. Because it's something on the inside where I know the impact that I'm about to make today. So I'm joyful. Oh. Now I'm sad. Something just happened. Oh, something didn't happen with clients or income or maybe your relationship. Something just happened. Maybe this last year and a half, 2 years been rough, right? Losing loved ones every day. Somebody always going. So yeah. You may have that emotion there, but that joy is still on the inside because I know
you're passionate about something. Yes, definitely. And that goes back once again, always, you just time everything all together, Mike. Well, being that best you, because it's something in you that makes it happen. Though. So definitely thank you, Coach Mike James. It's always an honor and pleasure to have the ability to talk to you and definitely have you to come on the podcast. We definitely got to get you back on and just talk some more. As we said, we can go on and on.
Yeah, for sure.
So I definitely thank you for just being a part of the podcast.
I appreciate it, man. Again, you know how it goes. When you call me, I answer. Yeah, I'm gonna come through with the come through.
He definitely will.
Because we go way back, and I appreciate. Here's one thing too. I appreciate people who appreciate themselves. Now let me break that down. You can call. You can say, "Hey, will you interview me, or will you talk about this, or will you talk about that? Will you do this?" If you're not doing something yourself now, I'm not gonna think twice about it. Okay. I've had people in the past ask me, "Hey, Mike, you stop doing this or stop talking about my whatever or my XYZ." Yes, because you did. So as long as you, my sister, and you grinding every day,
putting the work in,
as long as you're going, grinding, showing and shining,
show out.
Every time you call me, I'm going to answer them and say, I know you're doing something big. So that's what I'm going to do. And going back, testimony. Look, so another thing in entrepreneurship, I tell people, you have to make it easy to find you. You have to make it easy to connect the dots. That's, again, shout out to my beautiful wife, who is my CIO, my chief information officer. A lot of the stuff you see, like, it comes from the brains of Felicia James, and she's so dope. And so that was one of the things she said as well, like, Coach Mike James, it should be that across the board.
Definitely.
And so finally, man, I'm excited, man. I got CoachMikeJames.com, the domain. So that takes you to my site as well. Great. So, even if you don't do the link tree, my Instagram, CoachMikeJames.com, it'll take you right to the site as well.
We're going to have you come back on. We're going to talk about some of that with just like you said, making it simple and making it plain.
Right.
As Talkers vs. Doers, we're going to talk about everything, but it's the actually doing that you're doing. Yeah. So to make sure that we're pushing entrepreneurs and business owners on doing some great things in the community. So with that being said, once again, thank you guys. Please, if you're not already, follow, like, share, tell a friend. Talkers vs. Doers. We're on all social media platforms. Please follow in myself, Erica Perry / MsGemsDropper. You can find me on Instagram, dropping gems daily as we continue to just flourish in the community and help each other out. But until the next episode, don't talk about it, do it. You guys have a great one.